Hi, this is Shannon, Just Living Designs here for another video tutorial. This one I'm going to show you how I do cast-ons for all of my top-down sock patterns. This is the Old Norwegian or German twisted cast-on. It is a rendition of a long tail cast-on that adds just a little bit extra yarn to the cast-on to make it a little bit of a stretchier cast-on. So you can see how much stretch I can get with this cast-on, and then it bounces right back and it looks nice and neat. I mean, it is a good go-to for anything that needs a stretchier cast on, like a hat or a sweater or mittens. But yeah, so I will show you how to do that in this tutorial today. First thing you're gonna need is you're gonna need your yarn, and then you're gonna need your needle. I usually go, when I knit my socks, I will knit the cuff with a US 1.5 or a 2.5 millimeter needle. But when I do the cast on, I like to actually go up even higher, and I go up to a US 2 or 2.75 millimeter needle for just the cast on, and then I will start using the smaller needle for the cuff. And that just ensures that my cast on is nice and stretchy and I have enough room for everything. Now, a good way to measure for any long tail cast on how much yarn you might need to estimate is to just take the tip of your yarn. You don't have to start right at the end, but just start close to it, and then wrap it around your needle 10 times. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that is about how much 10 stitches will take. And then just double that over itself for as many rows of stitches you need to cast on. And that will give you a good estimate. Now you can either start this cast on with a slip knot or with just kind of twisting a stitch on your first needle. And I will show you kind of how to do both. Now when I teach students how to do a slip knot, I generally have them lay their yarn on the table. And then what you do is you pull, the working yarn's coming off to my left, and I have the yarn end coming down towards me. I'll pull the working yarn over the top to make a circle, and then I'll lift up the top of the circle and put the working yarn underneath it, and it makes kind of a little pretzel. And then you go under that bar in the middle and through the hole of the top. So you're kind of going through both holes, and then you can pull down and there's your slip knot. Or, like I said, the way I usually do it nowadays is I will just hold my yarn how I am going to hold it when I'm doing my long tail cast on, which is the slingshot method. So I have my working yarn going over the top of my index finger, and I have the tail yarn going over the top of my thumb, and then I'll gather both those yarns down below and grab them with my remaining fingers. And right now I'm just gonna come over the top with my needle, just come straight down and pull my needle underneath and towards me and twist, and that will make my first stitch. And now my second stitch, actually I will show that one more time if you haven't seen that before. So I'm going to come above and push down on that yarn, bring my needle towards me and twist it back up, and there's my first stitch. And then I'm going to finish the slingshot move by turning my hand this way. So that way I have yarn going over my index finger, yarn going around my thumb, and you can see all the different strands. So there's 3 strands here. So your first move to get your stitch on for this cast on is you're going to take your needle and bring it towards you and go underneath the 2 strands of the thumb, and then going over the top of that back strand and coming through the middle of the thumb stitches and pulling it towards you. And then you're going to bring your needle up over your index yarn and come down under and grab a strand. And then you see that this is twisted right here. We're going to open that up by just dropping our thumb down, but don't drop it off your thumb at all. And bring the yarn through, and then dropping it off the thumb and pulling tight. And there I have 1 stitch. I'll do that again, where I'm going to go under both strands with my needle, grab that back strand of the thumb and bring it towards me, down through, up over the top of the index finger, grabbing a strand, bring it towards me, open up the thumb, dropping through, and dropping that thumb and pulling down. And so every time you do that, you're going to have to come back and adjust your strands. So I'm going to grab again, under both, through the middle, over the top, open up, and through. Drop and pull. One more time. Under 2, through the middle, over the top, towards me, open up the thumb, pull it down and through, and see how that needle is always moving. It goes away from me and then it comes towards me when it grabs a yarn, away and towards. So one more time. In my slingshot move, I've got my 3 strands, under both, over the top and through the middle, over the top of the index, grab a strand, drop it through, and pull. And once you kind of get the hang of it, you can go a lot faster and cast on your stitches. And I usually like to leave a little bit of a gap between my stitches on my needle, just to, again, add a little bit more stretch, a little bit more movement with that yarn. And then when you get them all cast on, you're ready to go. I hope that tutorial helped you.